Hey y'all, this is Allison hanging out in my space to craft, and I did 3 page kits. You've seen one video. The second video, the second page that I did, you're not going to see for a while because I thought that Christie's Beautiful Life Series 19 was September. It's not until October, but I've already done one of the pages, so I can't show you it because that would be cheating. So we're going to do this one, and then I'm going to have to print off some more pictures and make some more page kits, but that's okay. Right before these girls went off to college, we went and spent just one night in Grey Wolf Lodge just to float in the lazy river and ride some slides and have a little time for them together. They have known each other since kindergarten. Through church, so they've done a lot of fun church activities and vacations together, and they're going to different universities, so we wanted them, the moms love to hang out too. So I have some beautiful papers from Echo Park Summertime. This is going to be my background paper. Let's make sure that's on camera. I think this one's going to be my background paper, this fun water, splashy. And then I have this fun bathing suit paper. And then 2 different sort of peachy pinks, which are cute. I have the sticker sheet for that. And then I also have chipboard accents from Pool Party, which kind of go and coordinate with that, and then a few from Summertime, a few pieces of ephemera. Now then, the Summertime, this was not the start of summer, so I can't say hello summer. This was really goodbye summer, so I'm being a little careful with what I do, but I like this. So maybe I'll say so long summer. I've already done a farewell page, so I don't want to say farewell, but so long summer or something like that for the title. And I think this will look good with all of that. So that is what I have. I don't know what layout I want to do. I may have to go look for a sketch with a 1 4x6 and see. So let me go off and look for some inspiration, and I will be back. All right, I've gone through a bunch of Christie's Beautiful Life sketches, looking for sketches with a single picture or something that I can modify easily for a single picture. This is day 14 from, I think, series 18, probably. I'm going to modify it drastically, but this is sort of the inspiration. So don't be afraid, even if you've done it before, to go back and use those sketches. You can flip them, you can rotate them. Here I thought, well, let's flip it. And then I didn't love that. But I like the idea of the banner using either these or these. I think I might use these because these, I don't have a lot of these florals, and they're different than the florals on the stickers. I don't know yet. One of these two. So here is the sketch that I came up with. You can see I'm going to do, this is not going to hang that down this long, but a string with the word summer, a big giant tag with the picture on it. It's not going to be centered like this. I'm going to offset it, and then embellishment, 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 and then a 3-inch border strip across the bottom. Maybe doubled, maybe like this, with maybe a fancy a fancy edge here, a scallop or something. I think that might be cute. All right, so from here on out, I'm gonna speed everything up and watch it come together. All right, so I'm going to use this as my background. I decided not to add any border or anything like that. I'm doing a 3-inch strip of the bathing suits, and that gets almost 2 full bathing suits, 2 rows of bathing suits. And then I have this light color and this dark coral, and I decide to use the lighter for the tag. I'm going to do it 8 inches by, I think I did 4.5, so 8 by 4.5 inches, I think is what I ended up with. But you can adjust that depending on your taste. Now I spent some time looking for a template that I can use to make it a tag, and I don't really find one. You know, I kind of wanted a little bit of a fancy cut at the top, but I don't have one, and it's too big for my dies, I think. So I'm just going to measure to get it kind of even. I'm going to draw it on the back side, and I go in 1.5 inches. I started 1 inch, but I end up 1.5 inches in and 1 inch down. I do mark both, but then when I cut it, I'm going to just flip that over and use it as a template, a guide for the other side. And then punch the hole. And there's my giant tag. I also decide to round the bottom corner. And then I'm going to mat the photo with this. And then I will use both of these papers for a few other things on the page. I'm going to make some banners out of it and sort of stick to teal and coral on this page as the main colors, and a few splashes of yellow. So I'm liking that look. I'm going to add a little bit of a border for the swimsuit paper. I don't like that blue on it because it's definitely teal. Well, I had this scrap in my scrap bin, and I'm going to use my Creative Memories border system and create this little lacy strip. Not really lacy, but a scalloped strip. But I'm going to cut it in half. And to do that, I'm just going to attach some Post-its to it so I can then hold it in my trimmer. And I'm just going to slide that. I'm going to ink everything, first of all. And I'm using black soot for the ink. It's just going to help everything stand out a little better. And then I'm going to ink just the edges of this. And that's because it's also on a turquoise and white background, so it's just going to help it stand out a little bit. So I'm just going to set that down, and this just adds, you know, an extra detail. Depending on what papers you would use for this, you may or may not need the border, but I did like adding the border to it. Just tucking that under. Sounds like my dog wants out. And I'm just doing this so there's a little contrast between those two papers. And here I have to decide whether I want to use the letters Summer or the little banners. The banners look okay, but the colors weren't quite as good a match. So I decided to use the letters and then make banners. So this did take a little extra time. That's why this video is a little bit longer. It took some extra time because I had to make the banners instead of just using the banners that came with it. But not a big deal. I have some dies that I use, and 2 different dies. One's like a little pocket die, you can see that here, and the other is a fishtail banner die. But it does a cutout, so it's a little frame. So I just then back it with a scrap of paper. And I did this teal paper, the light coral, and the dark coral. So 3 different colors, 2 of each. 1 of each shape for the banners. And I sized those. The little pockets were a little bit wide, so I just trimmed those to be the same width as those little fishtail banners. And I sized them, you can see here, to be the right size for the letters. And this is all just roughed in there, and it's time to commit some things. Now this would be easy to adapt with multiple pictures. Really, you could do a whole little strip of smaller pictures, or you could stack 2 3x4s. So pretty versatile layout, depending on the size and number of photos that you have. And obviously you can choose to just different words for the banners, or just do banners there. So I do struggle a little bit of where to put my embellishments. And I end up doing 3 little clusters of embellishments all surrounding the photo. I had originally had that "let's have a pool party" in the top right, but it felt like it was just sticking out. And I like it better there on the left of the photo. So at this point, I think I'm going to put some things up there in the top corner. I end up not doing that. I think I took those things down and put them elsewhere, because I've got this title that I want to put in there too. "So Long Summer" is going to be the full title. And I'm going to use some yellow twine as the string for the banner. So I'm just getting everything positioned where I want it. I'm going to tie a little bow on each end of the string, which I have to do a couple times just to make sure I get it the right length. And I'm just going to tuck that under. I ended up, I couldn't make my tape runner work on these letters for some reason. And so I ended up using some double stick tear tape on the back of each of those little banners. And we're just finishing up now, making a few final adjustments. I have some little stickers that I got off the sticker sheet, some little round stickers, and these enamel dots. And then I think I also just add a little rose gold spritz, because it's a little peachy, a little corally colored. So I decide to add that. And this page is pretty close to done. So let's do some close-ups. Oh, I have to do the spritz. Please give this video a thumbs up, you guys. Thanks for hanging with me in my space to craft. And I've got several more videos lined up, and I will also be doing my summary of all of my August projects as well in the next day or two. So thanks a lot, and come back soon.